TVZ spawning in the upper right-hand corner of Royal Blood. It's our Z player. In the blue for Onside Gaming. Solar. You already defeated a Terran today and had to take on a Protoss. His opponent, though, has some very relevant experience for what's about to happen. Just took down Dark in an electric and very long series. 2-1. He's looking very strong. It is Team NV's Cure, who it did this exact build in this exact position on this map against Dark. You know what? I say exact build. That was a 3 racks. This could be a cheeky way to mind game Solar if Solar was watching that last series. Now, I don't know if Solar was out of his series in time to watch game 2 of Cure Dark, but he might have been able to catch it. He might have seen that there was a proxy on this map. He is going to scout it, though, and it was a 3 racks that he did against Dark, that Cure did against Dark earlier. And you have to respond very differently to a 3 racks versus a 2 racks. But it looks like Solar is going to spot this. He's going to see there's no 3rd racks. Well, he's going to not see a 3rd rack, so he scouts everything, whether he knows it or not. Drone coming out to, I don't know, buy time, I guess. Lots of drones being pulled here. It is just the 2 racks, so not going to be as many Marines out from Cure. So we're just trying to push this back and buy time. 8 Lings on the way already. Solar responding to this very strongly, but bunker's going to start. Drones don't want to stick around and fight. The hatch is starting to take some damage. However, the Lings are out. It looks like the drones might get pulled here with the Lings. Yep, Solar's going to go for it. The bunker's not done yet. Drone's going to start to fall, though, as they were the first ones out into the fray. Marines get completely surrounded, though. A couple of them will escape momentarily, but now the Lings are chasing those Marines all the way back, and it looks like this is done. The bunker gets salvaged. The Marines try to find a nice position to die in. And die they will. SCV going to go down as well. And that's it. Solar holds on. Now, it is just 2 racks. Cure can absolutely recover from this. He can absolutely macro out of it. But that's not a good opening. He did not get the damage he was looking for. 3 drones and 6 Lings. That's not what you're looking for when you go for a proxy 2 racks. Solar definitely held on to that really, really nicely. He did lose some drones, though. Was forced to build a lot of early game units. But I think he's going to be quite happy with that situation. Overlord gets to come see everything that's going on since nothing here shoots up. And then Solar can just build drones back at home. Quick 3rd from Cure. I think this is a pretty common follow-up. When the proxy doesn't go super well, got to try to get back into that game economically. This CC is super duper late for Cure. Solar's 3rd base is about to finish up. And yeah, he's just continuing to drone. Up to 36 workers already. And I'm liking this for the Zerg. Cure does finally take down that Overlord, though. And he's going to start double pumping Hellion. So he's going to have some presence on the map, as well as the Banshee. Nice passive game here. I could see this going to a long late game. Solar not afraid of those late games. He likes to just macro and keep the macro going. Sometimes he does stick on the early, or not early, but like the mid-game units for a while. He's not quite as quick to things like Hive and Infestors as Dark is, for instance, but usually happy to just macro it out, go late game. Cure can be as well. I'd imagine he'll want to get pretty aggressive here shortly. Just put some pressure on with the Hellions, the Banshees. Or single Banshee, I should say. Get ready for the Marine follow-up. Funny how a game can start with the proxy 2 rags and just end up being pretty passive. Like there's not a lot going on right now. Both players just kind of hard macroing. Not a ton of indication of where we're going to be going from here. We'll see a lot of push potential from Cure for a while. I mean, like Stim's finished up, but he's got 1-1 on the way. There's not a lot of units out. Could maybe go for a little drop as these 2 medevacs pop out, but not a lot of Marines. Solar in the meantime, he's got 1-1 coming down. Bane speed, just Ling Bane Queen for now. Like gonna be Ling Bane Queen for a while. I do want to see where he goes as the game gets longer though. If he wants to get into Hydras and maybe Lurkers, or if he wants to go in for a Spire at some point. It does feel a little bit late to get into Spire. If you wanted to get into Mutas, I feel like you'd already have to be working towards it, but could happen. Could get into the Greater Spire as the game moves forward too. Cure, I think, has a pretty clear and straightforward path as he's going to be going Marine Tank for a while, and then he'll probably get into Ghosts in a couple minutes. That's pretty much it. We could see Solar go straight for Ultras as well, but it is going to be Hydras. The Hydra Dead is on the way up. No Infestation Pit, though, so going to be a while before Hive. Lingbane Hydra, great composition. Ooh, nothing in the main to deal with this drop. There is a Spore Crawler nearby, but not nearby enough. He's just going to take it down. Meanwhile, he's got the Hellions over on the left threatening down here, but the Queens look like they're dealing with that. Spore Crawler goes down, Overlord goes down, but Cure does get pushed away. It's a lot of Lings. Cure going to have to leave. Well, looks like some stuff has been left in the main base. Ooh, Cure drops in the main. That is not what you want to do. Eats a lot of damage on one of those medevacs too. There's the Hive coming out of Solar. Yeah, I'm intrigued how Solar's going to play this differently from Dark. We're already not seeing the like Roach compositions, the Infestors, things that Dark does like to play with a lot of times. Dark also likes to play super duper heavy Ling. Something I've noticed that he'll do from time to time as well is just go hardcore on the Lings. He'll have a bunch for counterattacks. He'll have a lot of them just running around, ready to get surrounds with 2-2 or 3-3 and Adrenal. He does really prioritize Adrenal once the Hive finishes up. It's a really fun style. It's a very swarmy style. Solar's actually on quite a few Lings himself. 113, damn. Hey, he's got Lings kind of all over the place. I love that he's clearing through the center rocks as well. This is something that I love to see Zergs do. Rocks are usually the enemy of the Zerg. Tanks can be so strong behind them. Taking them out allows you to get more counterattacks, more surrounds. Cure's starting to go for a push, though. Both players just about maxed. Cure wants to go for a drop in the main base, but he's got to be super careful with these medevacs. Some Lings and Banes there as well. Viper's on the way out for Solar. He left just enough supply to get a couple of Vipers out. He's got Adrenal pumping out as well. Cure going to start pushing forward, though. Wants to take this base down. Banelings not getting the connections they're looking for. Tanks do get the connections they're looking for. Here's the counterattack from Solar, though. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Dark loves to do this as well. Kind of a wall here from the Marines and tanks, but Lings and Bane's going to smash through this anyways. A couple of Hydras as well. SCV's coming off the line to fight. Looks like Solar will get pushed away. Cure continuing to push over on the left side, though. Taking this base would be rough for Solar. This is a nice base to have, but it looks like he's going to have to give it up. He's going to have to give it away, give it away now. But he does not want to give away this base, so he's got to push this dropout. 6 drones going down and a base dying. Now, granted, this counterattack from Solar did pretty well, but as it comes back, it is just going to die. Every single unit that was in that counterattack is dead now. Solar is getting ready to push forward, though. He's going to yoink a tank. He's going to yoink another one. He's going to yoink a medevac. He doesn't get the kill on the medevac, but he does on both the tanks. Cure's starting to push up towards this base, which Solar is not using just yet, but he definitely wants to keep alive. Looks like that may not happen. However, Solar in the meantime has gotten up into lurkers. He's got their upgrades finishing up right now. Seismic spines give them that extra range. Ling's trying to come down here and deal with this. It's not quite enough of them, but the Banelings will finish them off, well, for the most part. Cure's starting to clear the creep right towards the 4th base. He wants to get in on top of it. He killed this one in the upper left, knocking Solar down to just 4 bases. Solar desperately trying to retake this one, but it is in tank range, I think, which means it is going to have to get canceled. This drop, in the meantime, does get partially cleaned up and partially pushed away. Cure's keeping the pressure on. Solar is still maxed, though. And he's about to have the speedy burrow for these lurkers. Oh, he's going for a huge counterattack. Just holding on with the bare minimum back at home, trying to send just about everything else across the map. Bashing into tanks with the Banelings, trying to get them through onto those juicy Marines. Lings and Banes getting into the natural. Cure trying his best to split, but there's Hydras behind us as well. Splitting doesn't really work that well against those. And Solar is on top of the natural. He's getting into some of the production here. This is starting to become a big problem for Cure. Cure does still have some units out here, but he's starting to pull them back, trying to get home and defend. More Hydras show up for Solar. Solar's just rallying through. He's got the creep spread covering where this base wants to be. Beautiful counterattack from Solar. Cure is down a lot of supply, but it looks like he might be able to clean up a lot of these Hydras. Nope, never mind. Hydras are winning the fight. Few Lings out front, and now the lurkers join up, and Cure is already only on 58 army supply. He can't defend his 3rd. He scans the lurkers, and he's like, all right, they're there. I know they're there. But how do you kill that? How do you kill these lurkers right now? It just doesn't feel like Cure has enough. And Cure is going to tap out. Solar takes game number 1. His best of 3 semifinals. What a game from Solar. Honestly, very good game from both of them. As always. All right, getting all our casters in here. It looks like on the other side of the bracket, Hero took the 2-0 over Gumiho. We'll Be getting into game 2 of this one shortly. Solar up right now. Hoping Kurt can pull it back and give us a game 3. I always like a good game 3. Might actually stand up to cast this one. I'm telling you, it makes me so much more energized. I'm so tired when I'm sitting. Wanted to adjust the mic first because it makes a lot of noise when I adjust it when it's on. So I thought I'd adjust it and then stand up as soon as the game started, but of course we're stuck in a loading screen now, so. So now I want it back down here. Dang it. It's rude. Somebody must have dropped. It's too bad. I'm sorry if you're watching this on YouTube and there's a long period of time. At some point, I'd like to get back to actually editing the videos instead of just posting them straight from Twitch. But for the time being, it's too much of a time commitment to edit all these YouTube videos. So if you are watching, you might want to skip a couple minutes ahead. This part's going to be kind of boring for like 2 to 3 more minutes, depending on who drops. Sorry about that. Also, for everybody in Twitch, subscribe to my YouTube. I've been posting videos on that channel like 5 to 7 days a week or so. I tried to post one last night, but I messed it up and I realized right as it posted, and I didn't get a chance to redo it. I missed last night. Bad YouTuber. But we're trying to get those numbers up. Maybe get partnered on YouTube. Maybe one day make a little bit of money on YouTube. Hoping. Hey, thanks, Tip Topperoo. I appreciate the kind words. And Dave Testa with the raid. Oh, no. Does that mean this is Dave? Oh, Dave, I'm so sorry.
Oh, man, Chickenman.
Dave with the raid and the subscriber Reno, 21 months. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry if this is an indication of your internet dying, because that's kind of what it seems like just happened. You got kicked from the game and decided to raid out. You have a good night, my friend. Game crashed. Oh, no. Well, we'll get back into it shortly. All right. I'm going to get back into the game. Who has time for editing videos? Yeah, nah, like, it's unfortunate because, like, I hate there's going to be a huge downtime in this video now, but it's just how it goes sometimes. Editing takes a long time. Like, the process of editing is pretty quick, but then you have to wait, like, 3 hours for the video to render, and then you have to upload it, and you've got to be, like, present for a lot of that, too. Whereas exporting from Twitch to YouTube, man, it's like a couple minutes, like start point, end point, processes, then I hit export. That's it. Super easy, super simple. And yeah, I appreciate anybody who is watching on YouTube. It means a lot. But we're finally in the game, so I can stop blathering on about YouTube and start blathering on about the game. Oh! Oh, man, I like this button. I wish it had information here. Anyways, excuse me. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Gresvan, we have the blue Zerg player for Onside Gaming, Solar, who is up 1-0 after kind of a slugfest of game one. His opponent in the upper left-hand corner, who is decidedly not going for a proxy in this game. It is Team Envy's Cure. All right, thanks, Dave. You have a good night as well, my friend. Sleep tight. Don't let bedbugs bite. You know, I remember, like, hearing that as a kid. Sleep tight, don't let the bedbugs bite. And I was like, haha. Bedbugs. It's funny because it's not a thing. And then you get older and you learn bedbugs are, in fact, a thing. And they're awful. And then, I don't know if you guys have ever had bed bugs. I had bed bugs. I had the pleasure of having bed bugs, and it was awful. It was the worst. They are awful. Fortunately, they weren't too bad for me. I know for a lot of people, it's like I need to throw away absolutely everything. I did not do that. Maybe I should have. That would have been the safer way to go. I didn't have like a ton of blankets and stuff at the time. I was living in Hawaii, so didn't really need to have like multiple blankets. And there was like a blanket, 2 sets of sheets, basic bare bones stuff. I took every blanket kind of item. I put it all in the washer, put it on hot water, just absolutely ran all that through. And I inspected the bed. Once I realized it was bed bugs, I inspected every inch of that bed and killed dozens of bed bugs by hand. No spray. I killed them. I made sure they died. I was the exterminator, and they were gone. I actually got rid of them that way. It's not recommended, but it worked out well for me because I was very thorough. And also broke, so the idea of buying a new mattress and buying new like blankets and sheets and stuff, I was like, no way I can afford that. It would take me 3 months. We were doing this the old-fashioned way. Akase dropping the hot follow, and then almost immediately after dropping the tier 1 subscriber Reno. That's a big move, and I appreciate that. Thank you for supporting the channel. Hoping to keep the streams coming. We've got 2 casts a week right now. I'm hoping to just bump that up. I did get to do a stream where I played some of the, StarCraft. Played some StarCraft this week. It was wild. I kind of want to get back into streaming, guys. I really miss it. I really miss hanging out with everybody. So I appreciate the support on the channel. Any support really helps, like, I don't want to say justify it for me, but make it feel like I'm doing something, Makes me feel like I'm doing something. I talked to somebody today who was like, oh yeah, I don't like to do anything unless I'm making money. And I'm like, man, I've spent so much time doing stuff that doesn't make me money. Like, if this guy only knew how much time I had spent streaming, casting StarCraft for absolutely nothing, it'd be wild. Money's never my priority. I just like having enough to survive, really. I would talk about this game. There's nothing super crazy going on right now. The Liberator coming out of Cure, it's probably the biggest deal. Makes me wonder if there's an armory, but there's not. Just gonna put some pressure on. I like the little Viking here. I imagine the Liberator's gonna try to hit the main. He's got a lot of Hellions out. They can try to poke and prod over at the third base. Try to draw Solar out of position a little bit. Solar, though, with the nicely placed Spore Crawler up here. Not going to take too much damage. Where is that Liberator? Oh, no. Okay, it's coming over by the third. Are bedbugs different than fleas? Yes, in fact, they are. Fleas are, they're really, really tiny. And they don't do as much like damage to you, I feel like. I don't know. Fleas are usually involved in animals, whereas bedbugs, they really like the taste of human. Liberator not getting any damage done, just a little bit of lost mining time. Hellions going to try to dive in on top of these drones, though. Ling's body blocking a little bit, but the drone's eating some damage. Hellions fighting mostly against the Lings, though. Liberator is cleaned up. Hellions have dove into the main now. They've dived in. They've gone in deep. Ooh, up to 12 drones, 14. You're getting some decent damage done here. He killed quite a lot of Lings as well. It looks like these Hellions will finally get cleaned up, but I would say pretty decent trades from Cure here. We see resources destroyed, pretty similar, but killing 14 drones and just trading out the Hellions for it, I think is pretty well worth it. If it's even trades, but you kill drones, at this stage of the game, the only thing you really have to worry about, if you kill drones and trade army for it in StarCraft, sometimes you have to worry that your opponent's going to have more army than you. It's not really the case here. Queens aren't going to be moving across the map. There's not enough Lings out to do anything. Cure is perfectly well set up back at home on his third base. He's actually going to start pushing out. He's got some Marines just on their own here. It looks like they're going to get joined by the Medivacs with more Hellions. There is an armory that I just saw finish up. So these could be a few Hellbats. And actually, that's going to make the Lings have a much tougher time with them. Bane speed's on the way, but I don't think there's any Banelings right now. 11 of them morphing, but it's so late. It's such a reactive morph, and the creep was not that far out. Solar evacuating his fourth base, but the Banelings will have time to finish. Oh, those drones came back a little bit too early. Cure boosts the Medivacs backwards, which I feel like was a mistake. He didn't lift anything up. He did lose one of the Medivacs, though, and he's going to just go for the drop. 7 drones going down, but I think that was actually a pretty decent cleanup from Solar. He keeps the base alive, and now it's just one Medivac full of Marines. Not the scariest thing in the world. Cure, though, not stopping there. He is going to keep on pressuring. He's got more Hellbats showing up, more Marines here. He's just rallying across the map. What do we have here? This is 8 racks and a reactor factory. Cure he's going for the big push. He wants to keep the pressure on. Queens to take down another Medivac. The Medivac kills are crucial here because it makes the stim so painful for these Marines. But he doesn't want to engage with the Ling Bane just yet. There's just so little creep spread. The Marines can move back so easily. But now Bane speed is done, and the Marines do take a big shot there. But a lot of Banes went down for that. 38 more Lings on the way. Solar just desperately trying to wait for those to come out. But there's only a few Banelings left, and I don't think it's enough for Solar. Cure is going to tie up the series with the big 3-base push there. The big 8 racks Hellbat play. You'll love to see it. Heavy aggression coming out of Cure. And Solar just not ready for it. I think he dealt with the initial attack pretty well, but he just didn't have enough to follow it up, and the constant pressure from Cure just overwhelmed him. A heat gun will also kill bed bugs. That's good to know. That's good to know. Yeah, so everything I put in the hot washer, I also put in the dryer. But I just hot washed and dried every sheet and blanket that I had. Killed all the bed bugs by hand. Squished them. It was gross. It took me 3 hours because I went through and I double checked and I triple checked. It was a true Terran versus Zerg moment. The only good bug is a dead bug. All right. Well, I'm glad we got a game 3. Makes that big break in the middle of this feel worth it. Let's hop in to that aforementioned game 3. We're here in Babylon, spawning in the lower right-hand corner. It is the Onside Gaming Zerg in the blue. Solar. And, of course, his opponent in the upper left, Team NV. It's Cure. Man, those 8 Raxes look so good when they're good. it can be so difficult for the Zerg to stop. It really comes down to Solar just not being prepared for it. I feel like if he had 5 or 6 Banes morphed already with that first engagement, that game goes very differently. But Cure able to clear up that creep spread right away. That was the big deal, right? In front of the base, the creep spread went out like a couple tumors long, and that gave Solar enough time to react for the first attack. But by the time the second wave came in, the creep was just like right here. And so he wasn't able to really get on top of those units. He wanted to buy time for Bane speed, and then he wanted to buy time for the Lings, and he wasn't rich enough to buy all that time. Time's really expensive, you know? I mean, I don't know when the last time you guys went to the grocery store was, but I cooked a steak not too long ago, and I love to do a little, like a little jus with in the pan after I cook the steak. Just with some butter, shallots, garlic, and of course thyme. And man, the thyme is so expensive, and you get way too much. I wish there was an easier way to get like smaller portions of thyme, but I understand why they do it. It's just so nice to have the fresh herbs. I wish I had like the ability to have a little herb garden. That's one thing that, as much as I love this apartment, I wish that I could do, is have a little herb garden. And that was a lot of talking for just like one little pun. All right, Reaper coming in now. Cure did show some very promising Reaper micro earlier. And in fact, he's been getting creep tumors pretty consistently. It's gonna be tough on this map though with the ramp, but Queen pops out now. Reaper trying to avoid the Lings. Gonna get another creep tumor. Ooh, it's going in. Nope. Can't do it. Can't do it. It would die. Gonna go hang out here by the Urubus instead. Look at these cute little guys. When it's really quiet, sometimes you can hear them. Not right now, apparently. I'm not even kidding. Like the critters a lot of times do make noise. Oh my god, he got the creep tumor. So I was gonna plant down a new one. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it feels like such a moral victory. Such like a, I don't know. It's gotta feel good to get that creep tumor. God, this is so dark. Are they like sacrificing something? There's like an altar here with blood all over it. Like I normally see these guys dancing around the fire, but this is a fire with a sacrifice table. It's like floating crystals and stuff. I did not realize this was that dark. These little guys, they're cute, but man, I would not want to come against them in real life. They're also like 8 feet tall because they're the same height as a Marine. Terrifying. Where the wild things are, you know? Here trying to find some damage here, but the Queen's doing a good job blocking them off for now. The Reaper like, haha, I've bucked you. And we actually have Cloak this time from Cure, so the Banshee's potentially going to be able to get some good damage done. Stim on the way behind this. Not a lot of Hellions coming out this game. Looks like it's just going to be 6 of them. No big Hellbat attack or anything like that. Just some pressure. We'll see if Cure does decide to go for a big like 8-rack style push like he did in that last game. I don't think so. Only on 3 racks right now. He's got a long way to go. I appreciate you guys getting my Oliveira jokes. It means a lot. Banshee's going to try to be a little cheeky here, targeting down a queen even, but just a couple of drones. Hellion sharking around as well. Could try to dive past these queens, but it would be a bit of a bold move. I like that now I've got Twitch chat talking about herbs. Sounds like you guys are going to Scarborough Fair or something. So far, Cure not really able to find too much damage, but he's lost literally nothing, so it's always a good sign. I love looking at the units lost tab, and it's just absolutely nothing's died yet. Cure ruining his perfect game. Rip. Ooh, Cure's gonna push out though. He's got one tank in each medevac, making his life difficult. He's got quite a few Marines, combat shields, and 1-1. Not really that close, if I'm honest with you. But he does have stim at the very least. Creep spread moving forward for Solar. It feels like Cure did miss a bit of an opportunity to clear some of that earlier, but he's gonna take care of it now. Should be able to force a cancel on this base at the very least. Solar, yeah, he's gonna cancel it. Oh my god. Friendly fire from this tank. Didn't kill any Marines, fortunately. Solar setting up for a flank with some of these Lings and Banes. I think that's a wise decision. Ooh, it's not a flank, it's a counterattack. A bit bolder, but you know what? It might work out for him. Marines getting some good damage done here. Tank's a little bit far back for their taste, but you're going to just keep on poking forward, trying to get some of these queens, trade with some of the Lings, and then pull back into tank range. The counterattack didn't end up working for Solar. I don't know if he wanted to try to bust through this wall, but just decided against it, or what happened there exactly, but might want to bring those units back to help defend. Oof, Cure trying to go for a big drop. Where is he going? He's going all the way around the top side, but that means those units are not here, and Solar's going to take advantage of that, and before that drop can activate at all, Solar's going to push this completely away, forcing Cure to pick up a couple of medevacs worth of Marines and send them into the main base. Spore Crawler nearby, but not quite close enough. Lings and Banes trying to come up to deal with this, but at the same time, Cure did kill this base to the top side. And he is finding that damage. It felt like Solar was doing a decent job, but he's struggling to split his army against these units. Whoa, what a mines! Oh my god. Getting some very juicy connections here, but then the Banelings get juicy connections as well, and it looks like Cure gets pushed out of the main base. But he is up in supply after all of that. Very, very close game, but Cure's settling into a fourth base, so it's going to be 4 base to 4. Very similar worker count. And we also have 2-2 on the way for Cure. Solar only starting +2 Carapace, not +2 melee or even +1 missile attacks. He's going to fall behind in the upgrade race a little bit. He does have the Hive on the way, though, so he can get into those late game units. Oh my god, no, Solar, oh Jesus. Well, at least this last one didn't get a big hit, but man, he just lost a lot of Lings and Banes to those Widow Mines. Cure feeling a little more confident to drop out back here, but more Banelings show up. He's gonna have to lift up and get out. The main base has a couple of Queens and a Spore. He's gonna kill a full medevac, but there's still a lot more units to pop out. Queen's getting gunned down here. Cure getting some really good damage done in the main base. Man, Cure is up 20 supply right now. He does have to lift up and get out of there, but this is looking very, very nice for Cure. He just keeps pumping out units. He's got Drilling Claws on the way. Ghost, Concussive Shell. His +2 attack is done. His +2 armor is nearly there. This base is under assault again. He's going to have to lift up and get out, but taking great trades against the Lings, killing a few more drones, keeping Solar on a pretty much even worker count and roughly even economy, which is not where Solar wants to be. Solar has not traded well this game, and Cure is going to keep pushing on multiple sides here. The left and the right, the top and the bottom. Trying to take decent trades, targeting down Banelings as he can. Solar does have an army on the left-hand side here, ready for this push in, but it's a lot of stuff out of Cure. Still going to have to be very careful. All right, Cure dives in. You have to get some good splits. There's quite a few Banelings here, but he's got a ton of Widow Mines as well. Something that Solar so far hasn't dealt with particularly well. And you know what? There's a lot of stuff here. There's no infestors or anything. Ooh, I say or anything, but the Vipers do pop out. And a Parasitic Bomb, some of the medevacs. Not the biggest deal in the world, but you're going to have to send some of those out of there. It's just a little bit less healing. Doesn't really help with the Widow Mines, though, and it does not really help with the bio at the moment. It's just kind of a good thing for the future, but Solar needs to worry about the right now. Widow Mine's getting some big connections here. And at the same time, Cure is pushing on the top side. Solar really needs to hold on to this 5th base. It is so crucial for his mining. More Widow Mines coming in, trying to drag the Widow Mine over top. Oh, a big hit. Very successful there from Solar. Crushes Cure's army with his own Widow Mines. Doing so much damage. And you know what? It looks like he's got enough Lingbane over here to maybe take this fight. Some more reinforcements do join up, and I think Cure's got to back on out. Cure closes the door, but you know what? I think it's a little bit late. Gotta lift up and get out anyways, eating a couple of, not big, but a couple Baneling shots. However, Cure still even on supply. He's got Ghosts coming out. He's got that +3 attack. No +3 armor, though. That's going to allow Solar to catch up a little bit. His +2 melee is about to finish up. I believe he got Adrenal, so the Lings are going to be very, very powerful. Adrenal is like adding an extra attack upgrade, basically. But it also means they do damage quicker. So they attack more often. So it really stacks with however many attack upgrades you have. So the +2 is really going to help with that Adrenal. However, not even however, also, Seismic Spine's on the way here. Solar trying to get into Lurkers, but he's not there quite yet, and Cure is already pushing, and man, he's already got like 10 Ghosts out here. These have a lot of energy as well. The Lurker's going to have a tough time against that. Parasitic Bomb goes down. Baneling smashing into some of those Marauders. There's so many Marines behind there. An Infestor with a couple of Fungals would be very nice here. I do love that Solar is keeping a lot of units on the other side of the map. So far, Cure has been split pushing very successfully. But right now, he is not. Those units will be so helpful here. The Banelings step forward, or the Ghosts step forward, snipe off a bunch of the Hydras, but the Banelings do push them back. Banelings do not great against Ghosts, but yeah, pretty okay. Ghosts have kind of a lot of hit points. Oh man, it feels like Solar's losing so much every time he steps forward. I'd love to see him either counterattack with this or bring it over for a flank. A flank would be pretty brutal here. Eesh. More Banes going down, more Hydras going down. There's just not much over here for Solar, but he is going for that counterattack. He's going to smash through with the Banes. The repair was such a good idea until all of the SCVs were right there next to the Banelings. Solar is going to leave now, it looks like, but the damage has been done. 18 SCVs going down. Cure's economy is still pretty good, but did take a big hit there. I'd love to see some Blinding Clouds on these units to force them back off of the top of this ramp so Solar can get a good position with the Lurkers and with the rest of his units, because right now this base feels pretty exposed. Oh, we got some yoinks on Ghosts, not something you see very often, but that is kind of nice. I mean, abducting a Ghost seems to be a pretty good call. Cure going to come in here. He's going to target down the base. He gets it in a hot second with that +3 attack on those Stim Marines. And he's going to dive into the main base. This Viper does have energy. We could see a Parasitic Bomb. We are going to see a Parasitic Bomb. But Cure splits, and he's going to be able to unload every single Marine here. And even going to be able to pick some of them up and get them out. Just maneuvering around at the same time. A huge army towards the top side. Catches 23 drones that were transferring kills the base. And oh no, what am I? Oh, good split there from Solar at the last second. Forces Cure away, even killing a medevac full of units. Same time on this side, it looks like Cure's army over here is now 3 Marines and a medevac. Yeah, he tries to drop, but oh my god, the ghost from the top side, I didn't even see those. He comes in, he snipes the lurkers. He might be able to get out with some of these ghosts in the medevac as well. Gets out with 3 of them. Be careful of that parasitic bomb. Oof, gotta be careful of the Widow Mines here. Solar just diving into it. There is a little army up towards the top side, but it looks like Cure wants to bring it back down. It might kind of get caught by the lurkers here. Nope. Cure too quick, lifts up, gets away, gets the scan off as well, picks off a lurker. Has a huge amount of Marines that are not Cures. Mind friendly fire, pretty brutal. Oh my god, huge lurker counterattack here. Solar just gonna burrow all of these lurkers into the base while just trying to fight over here with the Lingbane Hydra, forcing Cure to pull back with a bunch of ghosts. Huge snipes, and he is gonna take down all of these. But you know what? Cure not really handling this very well, actually. He will snipe them down, but loses a lot of ghosts doing it. However, at the same time, man, there's so much action in this game. Cure hitting over on the right-hand side, killing a crucial base for Solar, who's now down to like 2-ish base mining. Really, really not great. Meanwhile, Cure has 2 pretty fresh bases here, even though he lost all the SCVs over at this base. But the base is still there. He can send more SCVs to it. He can drop mules on it. Solar is going to tap out as he pulls back and realizes he doesn't feel like he has enough to deal with Cure's late game army. A pretty sudden end to that game, as it felt like kind of an anticlimactic moment. But Solar just realized, I don't have it. I don't have the economy I need. I don't really have the units I need. The supplies were very close, but Cure was in a much better position at the end of that game.